Bob Jenkins and Larry Newber from Richmond, Virginia. Live coverage of the Richmond 400. What a difference a week makes. Last Sunday, beautiful, sunshiny, warm weather in Daytona. We have sunshine here today. It's a little cooler, though, and a lot different type racing. In Daytona, high speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour on 2.5-mile tri-oval. Today, we're on a half-mile track. It's relatively flat, relatively narrow, but we still expect great racing, Larry.
Well, Bob, at first glance, this may appear to be a bit mundane after all the hullabaloo of Daytona, but a second glance at all the superstar teams that have entered here today and the thousands of people who have gathered here, you understand that every race on the NASCAR schedule has become a spectacle, and short track racing is tough. It takes a lot of muscle to absorb all the banging that goes on for both car and driver on a short racetrack.
Let's go to the row assignments and the starting lineup for today's 400-lap race. Row number 1 from Franklin, Tennessee, Darrell Waltrip in the Mountain Dew Buick, alongside Morgan Shepherd from Conover, North Carolina in the Levi Garrett Buick. Second row, Benny Parsons from Ellery, North Carolina in the J.D. Stacy Pontiac, and Joe Ruttman from Upland, California in the Stacy Buick. Ruttman driving car number 2. In row number 3, Joe Milliken, car number 50, Randleman, North Carolina in the Perfection Connection Pontiac, alongside number 71, Dave Marcus from Wausau, Wisconsin in the J.D. Stacy Chevrolet. Row number 4, Harry Gant from Taylorsville, North Carolina in the 711 Skoal Bandit Buick, and Dale Earnhardt from Kannapolis, North Carolina in the Wrangler Jeans Ford. Row number 5, Ron Bouchard, car 47, Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, the Stacy Buick, Terry Labonte from Corpus Christi, Texas in the Stacy Chevrolet. Row number 6, Gary Ballou from Fort Lauderdale, Florida in the Ballou Buick, and Mark Martin from North Liberty, Indiana in the Apache Stove Pontiac. In row number 7 in today's lineup, Ricky Rudd from Chesapeake, Virginia, car number 3, the Piedmont Airlines Pontiac, and Bobby Allison in the Gatorade Chevrolet. Bobby, of course, from Hueytown, Alabama in number 88. The 8th row, the Petties. Richard, the father, from Randleman, North Carolina in the STP Pontiac. Son Kyle alongside, also in the STP Pontiac. In row number 9, Tommy Ellis from Richmond, Virginia in the Industrial Boiler Chevrolet, and Jody Ridley in number 90 from Chatsworth, Georgia. He drives the J.D. Stacy Ford. In the 10th row, D.K. Ulrich from Harrisburg, North Carolina in the Ulrich Buick, and Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia in the Melling Tool Ford. Row number 11, Neil Bonnet from Hueytown, Alabama in the National Engineering Ford, car 21. Lake Speed in number 17, Lake from Jackson, Mississippi in the Kings Inn Buick. 12th row, Buddy Arrington from Martinsville, Virginia in the Arrington Dodge, car 67. Bob Shack from Lombard, Illinois, car number 97, the Test Tube Oldsmobile. The 13th row, Tom Sneven, car 37. Tom now living in Paradise Valley, Arizona in the Simonized Buick. And Slick Johnson from Florence, South Carolina in the Palatine Parts Pontiac. The 14th row, J.D. McDuffie from Sanford, North Carolina in the McDuffie Pontiac. And Joe Fields in car number 92. Joe from Rockville, Virginia in the Richmond Printing Buick. Row number 15, Tommy Houston from Hickory, North Carolina in the Midlothian Texaco Buick, and Lenny Pond from Chester, Virginia in the Washington Freightliner Ford. And in the 16th row, Tommy Gale in car number 64 from Elizabeth, Pennsylvania in the Sonny King Ford, and Jimmy Means from Forest City, North Carolina in the Broadway Motors Chevrolet.
Well, Bob, one of the stories behind the scenes this week was the pilot behind the wheel of car number 75, racing move from the sports page to the front page. One of the most famous and concurrently infamous short track drivers, Gary Ballou, was indicted in an alleged Miami-based drug smuggling ring, but he is here this week and he is ready to go racing.
And we could get a green flag this time around. Again, this is a 200-mile race, 400 laps on this 1/2-mile track. The pace car pulls off of the racetrack. Darrell Waltrip and Morgan Shepherd lead the cars down the straightaway looking for that green flag from Harold Kinder, and the green flag is out. The Richmond 400 is underway. The cars race through turns 1 and 2. Everybody gets through safely, it looks like, on the backstretch. Morgan Shepherd has pulled out ahead of Darrell Waltrip as they head for turns 3 and 4. Shepherd now pulling out for about a car-length lead on Waltrip. Here they are completing lap number 1. Morgan Shepherd is your leader. Darrell Waltrip running in 2nd position. Benny Parsons is 3rd. Joe Ruttman in 4th. And Joe Milliken running in 5th position. We have a problem down in turn number 1. Gary Ballou is spinning on the infield, and apparently is going to keep that car running if he is able to. We will see no yellow, and Ballou apparently does keep the car going, pulls back onto the racetrack, and gets up to speed once again. Here is the completion of lap number 2 with Morgan Shepherd still in the lead. Darrell Waltrip second, Parsons third, and fourth is Joe Ruttman. Harry Gant in car number 33 came into the pit area. I don't think he stopped, did he, Larry?
He did not. He came through the pit area and made some type of gesture to the crew and went right back out onto the racetrack. Meanwhile, Morgan Shepherd, who is one of the best on a short track, has taken over the lead. Bob, one other comment. I'm sure on the television screen our viewers at home can see there appears to be a lot of dust or smoke in the air. That's dust. It rained heavily here overnight, and because of all the traffic going from the outside of the racetrack to the inside, a lot of mud was brought onto the racing surface. There was a high amount of dust in the early stages of this race, and I believe it might have contributed to Ballew's spin.
Morgan Shepherd in the Levi Garrett Buick is leading the Richmond 400 with 4 laps completed. Morgan Shepherd, car number 98. There is Morgan. He is the current leader of this race, has led since the cars got down into turn number 1. Here he is on the main straightaway, completing lap number 5. Darrell Waltrip continues to run in second position with Benny Parsons tucked right in behind Darrell Waltrip, and Joe Ruttman running in fourth position right behind Benny Parsons. So the 2 cars now that we will begin to watch are Harry Gant, who came into the pit area momentarily, and Gary Ballew, who spun. They'll be trying to work their way up through traffic. Here is the battle for second position on the racetrack. Waltrip in the number 11 Mountain Dew Buick, followed by the number 28 car of Benny Parsons, the Stacy Pontiac, and then running right behind him is the number 2 Buick of Joe Ruttman from Upland, California.
The situation here in the pits for Harry Gant, car number 33, they're perplexed. They have no idea why he shot through the pits. They think maybe he thought they were under the caution when Ballew spun out, but they don't know why. They're trying to establish on the radio.
Well, an interesting development there. Even the crew does not know why Harry Gant made that very quick trip into the pit area, but then continued in the race. Good battle for second place here. The cars continue to run in the same order, but it's good nose-to-tail racing as Morgan Shepherd has opened up about a 7 or 8 car length lead on Darrell Waltrip in the number 11 Mountain Dew car and the number 28 belonging to Benny Parsons. Here is Joe Milliken in number 50 battling with Dave Marcus. This is the battle for 5th and 6th position. Joe Milliken in the number 50 car, that is a Pontiac, the Performance Connection car, battling with the Chevrolet belonging to Dave Marcus.
Well, Milliken, of course, is a guy who ran a lot of laps on, and Marcus gets underneath Milliken. Milliken slipped up a little bit, turns through turns 1 and 2. He goes high going down the backstretch. You see Milliken out horsepower. They come together in turn number 3.
A spin in turn number 3 involving the cars that we were watching. Dave Marcus and Joe Milliken. Milliken came out on the short end of that little deal because the car got sideways on him and he lost a few positions, and the yellow has come out. So we are under our first caution of the afternoon with that spin involving Joe Milliken in car number 50 and Dave Marcus in 71. Well, let's find out more about that situation concerning Harry Gant as we go down to the Skull Pit. And here once again is Leandra Riley as she is making her way to that area and trying to track down the information concerning the problem with Harry Gant. Again, she reported to us a little bit earlier that even the crew did not know why Harry Gant made the quick trip into the pit area.
Well, Bob, we saw a lot of that similar type of action in a race here earlier this week on this racetrack. It is a tight racetrack for these big Grand National cars. We're going to take another look at it coming into turn number 3. The incident has already developed. As you can see, Milliken is sideways directly in front of Marcus. Marcus had nowhere to go, at least at that point in the incident as it had developed. But what happens at this racetrack, when you are on the outside, more often than not, you probably have to give way to the guy on the inside, even though you might be a half a car length ahead, because the racing lane is very narrow. And once you step over that thin line, particularly at speeds approaching about 120 to 30 miles an hour entering the turns here, it's real difficult to negotiate through these tight corners.
Here is the 10-lap rundown. The cars come down to complete lap number 12. The leader, Morgan Shepherd, in second position, Darrell Waltrip. Third is Benny Parsons. Fourth, Joe Ruttman. In fifth position is Ron Bouchard. Running in sixth, Dave Marcus. Seventh is Richard Petty. Running in eighth position is Dale Earnhardt. Ninth is Terry Labonte, and 10th is Ricky Rudd. We will be back with more coverage of the Richmond 400. We're under yellow right now. We'll be back for restart after this.